This is just a quick tutorial on how to remove the switch that comes on a standard Sunmulon SS push button that's tapped in and you can't remove it. The reason we remove these switches and replace them with something else is the actuation force on these. I don't remember off the data sheet off the top of my head, but it's high. So it's kind of hard to push. After a while, your hands are going to get tired. The ZF, formerly Cherry D44X switch is a good one. It's like 75 GF. Pretty easy, but still has a good click to it. You'll need some 3mm hardware. I chose M3 Phillips head, 16mm, and then some lock nuts. You don't have to use lock nuts, but I prefer them because they have that little ring in there that keeps it from coming undone once it's screwed in. But basically any kind of hardware that's 3mm and long enough to get through this 10mm-ish switch and the mounting plate. So I have a drill press. I've used a drill press before, but primarily I just use this for countersinking holes now. And I'll tell you, it's my personal opinion that using a hand drill is the easiest way to go. And I'll tell you why in a second. So you basically have to drill into this little rivet with your drill. You can either kind of just angle it around the sides until that lip falls off, or you can punch all the way through. It really doesn't matter, whichever one you're more comfortable with. But once you've got that lip off, you can just pop the switch off the back. So using a hand drill, you can angle as you go to kind of hit it that way, or to increase tension or decrease tension as you push through to get to the other side. With a drill press, if you're trying to hit it from this angle, it's only coming down from one direction. It's going to be constant, pretty much pressure and speed, and it'll start rattling, kind of move off. So like, it's just, if you have a really good drill press, it might be great, but I found that it's just much easier to use a hand drill. So the other thing I do is I take a piece of foam. This actually came with the Sunmulon buttons, and I wrap up the button before I get started. So that way, any kind of debris, or if the drill goes crazy and hits the housing, it's not going to mess up or scratch the top of the button or sides or anything. Basically, I just hold it by hand once I've wrapped it up. I get my drill bit that, again, I didn't really even measure the size, just one that fits inside that rivet, and then basically just drill into it. Alright, so that one just punched right through. And as you saw there, if you go slower sometimes, it's actually a lot better. If you go too fast, you're just gonna spark up a bunch of dust. So. Alright, there you go. The first one punched all the way through. The second one, as soon as that little rivet got taken out, it just popped off. So there you go. That is one switch removed. So from there, you'll just take the type of switch you're using, 2 pieces of hardware, and 2 of the lock nuts. Get the switch lined up so the plunger is hitting the top. Insert your hardware, whichever way you want. I've seen it done this way. I've seen people come in from the other side. I don't know. It's probably best to do it this way. So then you've got the hardware scraping against the metal piece and not against the side of the switch. But it doesn't really matter, in my opinion. But you're going to put the hardware in, tighten it up. Alright, and then once it's tightened, it'll look like this. And you've got a modified switch. One point to note, that's the reason that I use 16mm hardware, or length, because the lock nuts sit a little higher than like a standard. The standard would stop like right there at the lip. So if you're going to use lock nuts, just make sure you account for that to get 16 or longer. But if you're trying to fit this inside a case with a bunch of buttons hitting against each other and stuff, you might want to use standard nuts with like, I don't know, 12mm length screws. But that's what I do, and that's how I do it. So there's your tutorial.